Howdy, and hello, and welcome to the History of the Vietnam War podcast. I'm going to be your Virgil on this particular little odyssey, and I want to thank you for coming along with me. Um, as of this recording, there isn't a long format Vietnam War podcast, and I think that that's a travesty. And so we are you and me, you the consumer, me the content creator. Um, that I don't like that term. That sounds so just bleh. But that's literally what I was reading the terms and conditions and all that stuff. So that's what I am. I'm now a content creator. Um, Full disclosure, I'm a dumbass fireman. I love history, but I don't have any. I have an associate's of fire science degree from Trinity Valley Community College at Tyrrell. And I clept out of the only history credit. Like all my whole historiography or his my whole background in historiography is literally reading. That's it. Um, but I found out that I had a cousin, a fifth cousin, who Carl Wayne Dory's PFC, USMC, who was killed in Way City, January 31st, 1968, during the Tet Offensive. And I wanted to learn more, so I went and looked up podcasts. That's one of the things I like to, that's one of the ways I like to, Ray Harris's History of World War II podcast. That's kind of why I'm here. Like I love. That's one of my favorite ways to get history. Is that infotainment, and it may not necessarily be the most glamorous or elegant, but my fire station's 45 minutes away from here, and that's what I do. I really like history, and so I went looked for a podcast, and there wasn't one. So if you want to email me, it's vietnampodcast@gmail.com, because there's not one. There's not a long format, start to finish, A to B Vietnam War podcast. So here we are. We're going to do it. And you're going to help me. Viewers like you. I don't know if that's trademarked. My bad. I don't think it can't be trademarked, right? It's 3 words. I don't know. I'm not asking for money. That was just a joke. I'm gonna make jokes, okay? My bad. It's just how I am. But in this situation, let's reel it in. Rusty, reel it in. Well, here we are. There were, okay, with the wall. Let's start off with the wall. The Vietnam Veterans War Memorial. In 1982, when it was first created, there was 57,939 names on that wall. Now there's 58,320. I'm going to use that as the official count, because start reading about Vietnam. It's like the Pareto distribution, where you have 80% of it is here, but the sides, or the bell curve, whatever you want to call it, the sides are fuzzy. Everything's fuzzy. As much documentation as there was about Vietnam, everything's fuzzy, and I'm going to use that as the number. The wall is, to me, the repository of America's hurt and sorrow. I feel that way, and so we're going to use that as the number. There was 303,000 Purple Hearts that were given out. A little over, it was like 153,000 service members were injured and hospitalized. The rest of the guys got hurt, went right back out on the line, and I mean, these guys are heroes. Also, side note, America we did not treat them as heroes, and that's our shame and blight, because these guys are heroes. They went and fought for me, they fought for you, and those guys did unbelievable things in this place, because this little map doesn't show the hell that is this area, the green hell that is this area. These guys went through unbelievable, unimaginable suffering for us. And we're going to get into the Bretton Woods Agreement and the economic and security reasons of why they went through it. But you know what? They went through it for an overwhelming sense of duty. And I mean, God bless you men that went through that. Men and women who served this country in this area. There was 9.7 million, it's 9.8 million active duty service members during the Vietnam War conflict. And every single one of them, guys that volunteered during a time of, and were drafted, because you still volunteered in my book. I mean, you had the choice. It would have had grave consequences, but y'all had the choice, and y'all still stood up to the plate and took the swing, and God bless y'all. But everyone that's during that time of war that signed up and were drafted and went and did what their country called them to do, y'all are heroes, and thank you. There was 2.7 million servicemen and women in Vietnam proper, boots on the ground. There was another 3.4 that was in Burma, Thailand, the South China Sea, Gulf of Tonkin, Gulf of Thailand. Support personnel in the whole Southeastern Asian theater. Every single one of you guys and gals thank y'all from the bottom of mine and our hearts. Thank y'all. Welcome home. If y'all never got that, welcome home. Thank you for what y'all did. I can't thank y'all enough. And so this podcast is my thank you to y'all who put y'all's lives on the line for this. Put y'all's lives on the line here in this country, for this country, America. Thank you. I just want to point out, I'm 35. I'm 35 years old. There was 5 16-year-olds that were killed in Vietnam. I mean, putting their lives on the line for this country. I can't imagine that. I really can't. And so I would like to say thank you. And that won't be the last time I say thank you, but I just want to point out, and this will be the last saccharine, sappy episode, but I just want to lead with that. I want that to be the first thing y'all hear, because, I mean, this is an amazing story of the human experience, of the American experience. This is and I don't think it's really widely known. I've read a lot of military history, and I don't have a whole lot of backstory, knowledge, context of this. And so, if you watch this, thank you, and we're going to change that. We're going to get some info. We're going to get some context. I want to tell you, I want to have 3 iterations of this. I want to have 3 kind of arcs. The first one is going to be a very broad, bird's eye view. First iteration is going to be a very Martian anthropologist looking down view. Second is going to be much more, it may not be day by day, but it will be almost a play by play. This is the Vietnam War. Third is going to be very granular. It's going to be individuals, people's experience. If I can get any interviews that I can get, I'm going to try to put them in there, and I'm going to put them in there when I get them. But it's going to be it may get rebroadcast in that third iteration, because that's going to be the gritty, granular. It may take 10 years. I don't know how long that's going to take, but I want to showcase those guys, those women, those individuals experience. That's what I want. That's the overview. I don't know if that's going to happen, but to kind of make it Vietnam terms, first iteration is going to be arc light, B-52s from Guam, carpet bombing. Second is going to be Rolling Thunder coming out of Thailand. Third is going to be the Wild Weasels busting up SAMs in a gritty treetop flight. That's what it's going to be. How I kind of want to do this, I want to get you the background. So the Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, this right here is about the size of Texas. The 60-ish, 50-ish, 70-ish and 50-ish thousand miles. It's about the size of Texas. During all of these wars of independence, subsequent communist regimes, Chinese invasion, there was between 10 and 15 to some, I even read 20 million Southeast Asian people that were killed. I mean, that's Texas, basically. I mean, if you took Texas out of America, that's what this is. Just to kind of give you the what's going on. Just kind of give you a little metaphor or analogy. And also, let's rewind the clock of history. This was the Indo-Chinese Peninsula. Now it's Southeast Asian mainland. But, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, there are huge swaths of history through here. Thailand is one of the longest running monarchies in the world. Angkor Wat. If you want to read you some Graham Hancock. It's Herbie Hancock on some Angkor Wat. R.I.P. Mr. Farley. I miss you. Just to call this the Indo-Chinese. I mean, can you imagine America being, or we won't say America. We'll say Canada being the supra-American country. Like, I mean, the supra-American landmass. Like, I mean, that's not right. Like, I mean, I don't know why we did that. I think it's because people want to have easy to digest, consumable bites of information. But, I mean, there's a lot of history right here. And we're going to go through it in a very kind of a quick fashion over the next couple episodes. We're also going to hit the Bretton Woods Agreement, which is an economic agreement that is an American economic agreement, but for security reasons. We'll get into it. And you'll see how that is the direct A to B cause of Korea, Vietnam. I mean, that's 110,000 American service members who died because of that, and it's very seldom known. So we're going to get into that because we need to know about that. And you know what? I think that might be the next episode. We're going to hit Bretton Woods first. That's going to be the second episode of this series, and then we're going to get into the history of the Southeast Asian landmass or Southeast Asian mainland. And I want to thank you for this. I want to thank you for getting on board with me, and I hope that we can take this to the next level. I hope that this really opens some eyes, and because reading about Vietnam is exploded my eyes, and I'm going to say you won't have to read as much as I did, because I'm going to tell you about it, and win-win. Thank you for sitting here listening to me for the past 15 minutes, and I don't really have anything past that, so that's all I got. Bye.